Today we're going to talk about some primer and foundation. Unfortunately, I don't have Unique's version of primer yet. I'm still waiting on that to come in, but we will make do with what we have, and the tips and tricks will all be the same. So let's get started. So what I like to use as a primer is actually a BB cream. You can use, actually I do have a primer that is Unique that I forgot about. So we have our setting spray, our Touch Behold setting spray. This can be used as a primer and as a setting spray. So this is going to be my primer today. Just light sprays all over your face. I look like I'm getting attacked whenever I use it, but you know, hey. Alright, so the next step we are going to do is, I still use a BB cream. It adds just a little bit of extra coverage for me, plus it's a sunscreen, so just kind of dot that around your face. And if you notice me looking down, it's because I have a mirror right here in front of me, so it's a little bit easier for me to see than trying to use the video camera as a mirror. Okay, now that that is on, we will go in, and I use just a flat topped stippling brush. You can tell it's well used. And then I just kind of use that to stipple that all around. Alright. This just helps kind of spread it around. And you'll kind of notice it is nothing like what it should be. It is not blended in, and it looks kind of terrible. That's okay. Because next what I'm going to do is take a slightly dampened beauty blender like this. You probably shouldn't get white because it does not stay white, but it's what I have. And then I'll just take the large end of it and again go stippling around. And this will blend in that foundation. You definitely want to make sure that it is slightly damp, because if you do not, it will absorb all of your product. And then you'll have it in your beauty blender and you won't have it on your face. Okay, so that is that. Next thing we're going to do is, I like to go in with my okay, sorry, I was finishing that up. I like to go in with my concealer. So we have the Touch Mineral Concealer. I am in the shade Organza in both my foundation and my concealer. There are some that will go a shade lighter for their concealer, just so that they have that little bit of a brighter look, especially under the eye. But just put, I mean, just a little bit goes a long ways. And it's kind of got this neat little end on it, so that you can just apply it directly. So I put a little bit under my eyes, and like right in my nose, and that crease where I kind of get red. Then you'll notice I kind of got a big honkin' zit right there. And so we'll put a little bit on top of that. Then we'll go back in, but this time we're going to use the small pointed end of our beauty blender to blend that in. You can use, and sometimes I do use, a concealer brush, but today I'm just going to use the beauty blender because it just works a little bit better for me. And I just kind of dot that until it blends in. Something else you can do is you can go in a triangle pattern. Well, I'll just show you on the other eye what I do if I use a foundation brush. I just get a little bit, and I just kind of go down in a triangle pattern like that. And then you can actually go back in with your beauty blender and blend it out. Okay. Now I've got that zit over here. I'm just going to cover that up and blend that around. Whenever you're covering up zits, you don't want to do a swiping motion, because then you'll just kind of wipe it off the top, and the top of that zit will be exposed. it's just kind of screaming at you, hey, here I am. But if you'll do a patting motion, kind of like what I've been doing, it'll actually cover it up. So you can see that, which I mean, obviously that's not blended in very well because I don't have my foundation on, but you can already tell how that's really covered up that zit. I've also used this just to kind of prove a point of how awesome it is. I've covered up my tattoo, which you can see there. And I'll be posting pictures of that later. Okay, so that's our concealer. Next, we're going to go in with our liquid foundation. It is a little bit thinner than a lot of foundations, so you want to make sure you shake it up really, really well. And you'll want to squeeze the dropper so that you get, well mixed foundation in the dropper. And you don't end up getting some in the dropper that's separated. Okay. And then I just take this, let's see if you can see that, and just a little bit on my hand. You can kind of tell it's running because it's thin. And I'm going to go back in with that stippling brush again. And we're just going to do kind of the same thing that I did with the BB cream. Love our foundation. It dries to a powder finish, so I don't even actually have to put powder on top of it. You can, especially for my oily ladies, you'll want to. But you definitely don't have to. And it's very light. It's not heavy like a lot of foundations. So I'm going to go back in with that beauty blender and do the same thing. And just make sure we get it all blended out. You can see that that has been covered up. And you can still see it's kind of sticking out there a little bit, mostly because it's a really bad pimple. But if you want to cover it back up a little bit more, you can always take, and I like to use my ring finger and put just a little drop, and I mean little, on there. Whoops. And we will go back over it. Just a little. I probably actually got a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is, now that I've got that zit covered the way I want, I'm going to take the beauty blender and go out around it. Okay, that pretty well gets it covered up. So, alrighty then. So, that's how we do our foundation, concealer, and the BB cream. So, let me know if you have any questions, and make sure you comment below. Thanks, guys.